Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW.
There's not
West
many
Texas.
roads around the school, so I included lots of roads in order to access the school to decrease the time it takes to get to school, I guess. Yeah.
I started with the parking lot because that was kind of something that I thought was important. I had kind of all the sports stuff and then all the classes. This library kind of just happened.
A lot of it came from just other students' ideas and what they thought about the new school and what they thought should be added, because there's a lot of things, especially at these campuses, that need to be added, need to be updated, need to be renewed.
That was 3 Legacy High School students who are getting the opportunity to design their new school. CBS 7's Jensen Young spoke with them to learn more about it. We'll hear from him and more from them in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining us for CBS 7 News on the CW, and thanks to those of you who are joining us live on the CBS 7 YouTube. I'm Lauren Munt, and we start tonight with your oil and gas news. Diamondback Energy and Endeavor Energy Resources have entered into a definitive merger agreement valued at around $26 billion. Diamondback's existing stockholders are expected to own around 60.5% of the combined company, and Endeavor's equity holders are expected to own around 39.5% of the combined company. The transaction was unanimously approved by the board of directors of Diamondback and has all Endeavor approvals. The combined company will continue to be headquartered in Midland. You can read their full press release with the details on the merger up on our website, cbs7.com. And a new report came out Monday about the coastal restoration efforts that have been ongoing since the BP oil spill 14 years ago. It's called the Deepwater Horizon Halftime Report, and it assesses where the oil spill restoration funding has gone. CBS 7's Washington News Bureau Stetson Miller has more.
This report highlights what its author says has worked well and what hasn't with BP oil spill restoration efforts, and it's also trying to prompt an assessment of it.
The halftime report is an attempt to say, hey, time out. What has gone well here, what hasn't?
Grant writing consultant Tim Richardson presented his Deepwater Horizon Coastal Restoration halftime report on Monday at the National Press Club in Washington to show where the money for the BP oil spill restoration is going or is en route. But the takeaway he came to while doing his assessment is that the money for restoration projects isn't getting out fast enough.
There's an enormous amount of criticism about the delivery of funds and the time it's taking. And inflation hit that hard. COVID hit it extremely hard. And so COVID and inflation have been a second order disaster in the Deepwater Horizon.
John Byram with the Nueces River Authority, which was severely impacted by the oil spill, says the funding has been an issue for his organization, which has been trying to build a regional wastewater treatment plant, but it's gotten a lot more expensive as time has gone on.
The findings of the report were quite startling to me because what's happened is in the last 3 to 4 years, inflation has just really doubled the cost of doing business for us. And this project that was looked at back 2.5 years ago was at $78 million. Today is going to be well over $130 million to try to get completed. And we want to act quickly.
Richardson is hoping that the report will prompt lawmakers in Washington to do a checkup on the restoration efforts and hopes that they will take action to stop bogging down the flow of money for projects for restoration. In Washington, I'm Stetson Miller.
In more oil and gas news, be sure to tune in to CBS 7 News at 10 for part 2 of Hannah Brock's special report. It's called The Produced Water Problem. She highlights how produced water has changed and will continue to change the oil and gas industry. Tonight, hear from several of the ranchers dealing with leaky wells on their land. Again, that's coming up on CBS 7 News at 10.
This credit is it's not a loan, it's not a grant, it is an actual credit, and it's a payment. It comes to you in a form of a check. You don't have to pay back or anything, and it's available up to $32,000 per individual.
Tax season has begun, and there's some new opportunities for the people of the Permian Basin to take advantage before the final filing date. For those that were self-employed during 2020 and 2021, or for those that have dependents, this tax season can provide a higher return. This tax season can include more money in the form of credit. The child tax credit will include up to $200 more per dependable. But one important boost is the self-employment tax credit in the Permian Basin.
They're giving you a refund on your self-employment tax, plus they're giving you compensation for days you missed due to COVID. And so that's really been helping a lot of clients locally. And not a lot of people are really talking about it here. So we're trying to spread the word on that.
Chapman says that depending on what was lost, the compensation can range from $500 to $32,000. The last day to file taxes is April 15th. We're going to talk your weather forecast now with Chief Meteorologist Tom Tieferteller. Tom, it was pretty chilly this morning, but it kind of warmed up a bit. Are we going to see more of those cold temperatures tonight?
Yes, we are going to be seeing another light freeze across parts of West Texas overnight tonight. Now, as we take a look at high temperatures today, here's what we saw. Readings into the mid to upper 50s out there. Plenty of 60s showing up, though, at around Fort Stockton, Pecos this afternoon, and right in Presidio, the hot spot almost reached 70 down towards Rio Grande Village with 69 degrees. Current temperatures, as we look at Pecos and that dry moon that's kind of holding up the water there. Well, we are seeing things rather chilly under that moon tonight, into the mid 40s already across parts of the Permian Basin, right at 50 in Odessa, but a chilly 39 being reported up towards the Hobbs area. And we are seeing, again, light winds for the most part out there. So another cold one on the way. Plenty of sun in the forecast. In fact, it is going to be rather beautiful here over the next few days as we await the next cool front. It's going to bring some chill to the forecast this weekend. More on that as we take a look at that CBS7 First Alert exclusive 10-day forecast here in a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Tom. Usually when you're tasked with designing a new school, you've got a degree and ample experience. But that's not the case for a group of Legacy juniors who got to have that chance thanks to a class project. CBS7's Jensen Young spoke with some of those students to find out their ideas for the new schools included in the recently passed MISD bond. Jensen?
Yes, 2 new high schools are being designed because of this bond, and these students from Ms. Brumley's English class have some good ideas to add. And they even got noticed by Pfluger, the architecture firm actually designing the schools. Both Midland and Legacy high schools are going to have new campuses. While Pfluger is the firm tasked with designing them, Heather Brumley's AP English class has some ideas of their own.
Most teachers that I know are trying to prepare our children to be invited to the table, whether literal or metaphorical, to have a voice and have their opinions heard. And I wanted the students to feel like they were involved, even if it was just for a class project, to put their voice out there. This is what we should do and why.
The students worked together to come up with ideas for the new school, but each design is unique. Students highlighted necessary things that mattered to them, such as their sports teams.
I kind of thought about problems that we have as a soccer team with the layout of the school. Use that to think of some solutions.
If you go out there and look at the tennis courts, they're really run down. There's cracks everywhere on those courts. We want to make sure that these students can enjoy these opportunities that they get.
They also looked at the big picture outside of the usual buildings and sports facilities.
A lot of times there's not enough spaces in the parking lots by the athletic facilities or just in general where they kind of need to be. So I feel like if there's a really big parking lot, everyone can have parking spots where they need them and just have more access so that they don't have to walk as far.
It wasn't just a civil engineering project in English class. The students also had to explain in writing why they designed the school the way they did and argue why it would benefit the students who go there in the future. Pfluger heard about the class project and liked the idea. The firm reached out and has invited the class to be part of the design process.
A lot of the students here, they base their design off of their problems and things that they run into on the daily. So I hope that they take into consideration a lot of those.
No timeline is set for when these students will actually meet with Pfluger, but the design is sure to be put through the ringer. For CBS7 First Alert News, I'm Jensen Young.
Thank you, Jensen. Located between the Wagner and UTBB Science and Engineering building off of Highway 191, there's a hidden gem that has facilities open to the public. SEED. It stands for Center of Energy and Economic Diversification. It's an innovative and collaborative space that provides educational and laboratory facility resources. It was built in 1989, and the building is finishing up a substantial 2-year renovation, which has provided them with space and resources to offer to the public. They now have an incubator space with offices that they lease, an 8-desk co-working suite, and the maker space, which has a variety of prototyping equipment like 3D printers, laser cutters, 3D scanners, embroidery machines, and more. All of this can be used by West Texans, whether you go to UTPB or not.
It's DIY, and the Y is for you. So what we do is we train you on how to use the equipment. We'll take you through all the safety procedures and everything, but then it's largely up to the individual to actually execute on their project.
Entrepreneurs and small businesses are the main users of the seed building right now, but it's also open for companies that might be coming into the region and may need an office space in order to conduct business. And the Ward County Greater Works project is teaming up with West Texas Barbecue Bass and State Representative Brooks Landgraf to raise $2 million for the Monahans Kids Zone. The money raised will help fund their organization and build a new, much-needed facility. Currently, with the help of a grant, the Kids Zone delivers essential services and opportunities to children in need. The fundraiser is a way to continue providing those services past May 1st, since any money raised will be matched by that grant.
Yeah, everybody can get involved. The Monahans Kids Zone is a wonderful project. It's going to transform lives of children right here in Ward County, and everybody can be involved, whether you're a business, whether you're an individual. My wife Shelby and I have contributed to the cause, but if everybody chips in just a little bit, whether you're a business, whether you're a family, every little bit will go a long way to achieving this goal, and it will transform lives right here in West Texas.
If you would like to donate and help the project, contact the Monahans Chamber of Commerce. And looking across to Big Spring, the city announced that it will be demolishing the metal playground at Comanche Trail Park, replacing it with a new playground. The demolition and replacement park is happening thanks to a donation from the Dora Roberts Rehabilitation Center. The area around the playground will be blocked off starting tomorrow as demolition begins. Now for a look at today's top headlines shown here in real time with real viewers on CBS7.com. You can see all these stories and more by downloading our app or visiting our website at CBS7.com. And still ahead with Valentine's Day just 2 days away, Flower Shop in Michigan is working around the clock. But a winter storm could potentially put a damper on people's Love Day plans. We've got those details in your news across the nation next on CBS 7 News at 9. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and while the weather looks pretty good here in the Permian Basin, a large storm in the northeast could put a damper on date nights across the nation. Paul Burton from our sister station, WBZ, has more.
Elegant long stem roses, a fresh bouquet of flowers.
You're welcome. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you.
Everything looks beautiful at the Frugal Flower in Sudbury, but with a nor'easter barreling its way into the region on Tuesday, the weather will be ugly and challenging for florists.
On New Year's Day, I start thinking about this. and the weather. And it stresses me out, and I know all my fellow florists, it stresses them out so much.
With Valentine's Day just 2 days away, the phones are constantly ringing. And owner Michael Devlin says his team is working feverishly to get flower arrangements made and orders out the door.
We have all sorts of arrangements made up, ready to grab and go.
He hopes the snow will not impact too many of his orders.
It plays a significant role as far as doing deliveries, you know, like a typical driver can get out maybe 40 to 60 deliveries per day. If it snows, that's probably cut in half.
Flower shops were greatly impacted in 2015 when a major snowstorm blanketed the region on Valentine's Day. Fortunately, this storm is happening a day before, and he's making adjustments.
We're taking most of our deliveries. We're trying to pull from Tuesday and go into today, or push into Wednesday if possible, contacting the customers.
Because of the nor'easter that's coming, Devlin says he had to order his rental trucks a day early because all of these flowers that you see behind me still need to be delivered on time and even in the snow.
Also, you know, the roads might be cleared, but are the driveways cleared? Are the walkways cleared? You know, so the drivers have to deal with all that stuff as well.
He's been in the business for 30 years, and nothing surprises him when it comes to the weather.
Message to customers is order early and be patient. We're gonna get the flowers delivered.
In Sudbury, I'm Paul Burton, WBZ News.
Well, we are going to see some nice weather, in fact, gorgeous weather for Valentine's Day as temperatures are going to warm up quite a bit. We'll talk about it up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, it is a chilly evening out there. Looking outside in Pecos, where temperatures have dropped off to 49 degrees. We're into the mid-40s now across parts of the Permian Basin. 50 in Odessa, but that temperature sensor may be a little on the high side there, as most places are really starting to cool off with a couple of 37s in Hobbs and Lamesa, 39 down in Fort Davis. So again, we're going to see another cold night on the way. High pressure is built in behind that big storm system. It's going to cause a lot of problems on the East Coast. Up to a foot of snow in and around New York is a possibility. But for us, though, it's going to be smooth sailing on the weather here over the next few days as this high pressure rolls in. Then we're watching this storm system back in here, just on the left part of your screen here. This is going to be moving towards California. I don't think it's going to do a lot for us other than bring a cold front and some colder temperatures into our forecast. It looks like the latter part of this week. About Saturday looks to be a chilly day. Right now we're seeing a few clouds across portions of deep South Texas. Really about it as things are quiet across the state. And temperatures today, well, we did see things a little chilly. The coldest up here around the snowpack that was left on the ground, 45 degrees there in Lubbock. Everybody else getting into the 50s to the low 60s. But really all corners of the state of Texas enjoying a nice day. Not too much happening on this futurecast as we're going to see pretty quiet conditions in the forecast with lots of sunshine tomorrow into the afternoon hours, clear skies, maybe a high cloud or two drifting across should really be about it. So again, here's what we're looking at on that forecast for tonight. Things will be cold. We'll see temperatures down, probably light freeze possibilities there around 33, 32 degrees across the Permian Basin. Then tomorrow, a couple of degrees warmer thanks to a south wind returning in the mid-60s. Plenty of sunshine on the way. Your CBS 7 First Alert exclusive 10-day forecast shows a big warming trend on the way for Valentine's Day and really the rest of the week, as we'll see temperatures running about 10 degrees above where they should be this time of the year. And then we'll be looking at that change with that cold front, dropping temperatures for the start of the weekend.
Last night's big game was also prime time for ad rollouts, with celebrity-packed commercials reaching the largest television audience of the year. We take a look at the favorites and the not-so-favorites next on CBS 7 News at 9. The Super Bowl is the one time of the year that many people actually look forward to the commercials. Naomi Ruckham takes a look at which multi-million-dollar ads scored with the viewers.
This year's Super Bowl commercials packed in the celebrities and raked in the dough.
Give me hands. Worked together for 10 years.
From David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston to David and Victoria Beckham, star power scored high. Ben Affleck's universe came together in a comic spot for Dunkin' Eats.
And needs no introduction, my partner.
Sometimes it's really hard to be your friend.
But the fan favorite on USA Today's ad meter was a nostalgic reunion of comedic odd couple Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
You are a backstabber. I am a backstabber.
Comedy usually plays well with ad meter, and of course it played well this year. And then to see Danny DeVito and Arnold back on screen together, it was interesting. Danny was telling us that, that's what drew him to the ad, the fact that he got to work with Arnold again.
Beyonce broke the internet with a Super Bowl commercial that ended with a surprise announcement, a new album, Renaissance Act 2, coming March 29th. She also dropped 2 new country songs. Ad rates for a 30-second spot in Super Bowl 58 cost nearly $7 million, and Paramount scored even deeper during overtime.
This is the only remaining venue where you can reach an audience of 100 million plus, and that becomes more so every year with the fragmentation of media. So the Super Bowl is still the only game in town.
Budweiser's classic Clydesdales made an appearance, and Kia tugged on the heartstrings with a tearjerker, all hoping to catch consumers' attention and their dollars. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
One ad that raised eyebrows, a super PAC spot for Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s presidential bid that superimposed his face over his late uncle, JFK's. RFK Jr. has apologized to his extended family for the spot. And still ahead, we have a final look at your weather forecast coming up next.
Well, we are going to be looking at some changes in our forecast. Look at this weather, Lauren, for Valentine's Day.
That's looking perfect.
You know,
that looks like some
it
nice
is going to be perfect for everything you want to do. A date night, anything like that, because again, the
outdoor
weather's...
picnic date. That
there
looks like a good thing. I'm gonna hint that to my Valentine if he's watching.
That's a good idea, because we're gonna see temperatures into the 70s. Really not gonna see anything too chilly until maybe Saturday when that next front arrives, and definitely no rain anytime soon.
All right, sounds perfect. Some nice temperatures. Thanks for watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up tonight on CBS7 News at 10.